What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Tuesday, September 22nd. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, NBA playoffs. Let's take a look at this NBA showdown between the LA Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. So I'm going to go over the top 4 studs here really quick, just so you can get their last 3 games, minutes, and production. So starting at the top here, I like LeBron James from the LA Lakers playing the Denver Nuggets. LeBron James has averaged 51.3 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 35 minutes per game with a 32% usage rate. He scored 45, 37, and 58 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 36, 30, and 30 minutes. He's projected at 50.9 fantasy points here tonight. Vegas thinks there's going to be 214.5 points scored in this game, so I like LeBron James here versus the Denver Nuggets. And then we got Anthony Davis from the LA Lakers, and he's averaging 50.9 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 34 minutes per game with a 29% usage rate. He scored 53, 52, and 29 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 39, 32, and 34 minutes. He's projected at 53 fantasy points here tonight, so I like Anthony Davis here versus the Denver Nuggets. The next stud we got here is Nikola Jokic from the Denver Nuggets. He's averaged 44.4 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 32 minutes per game with a 27% usage rate. He scored 61, 30, and 72 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing an average of 38, 25, and 39 minutes. He's projected at 47.3 fantasy points here tonight, so I like Nikola Jokic here versus the LA Lakers. And the last stud here on the slate is Jamal Murray from the Denver Nuggets, averaging 32.6 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 32 minutes per game with a 25% usage rate. He's scored 45, 27, and 50 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 44, 28, and 44 minutes. He's projected at 36.8 fantasy points here tonight, so I like Jamal Murray here versus the LA Lakers. Okay, so now we got the studs out of the way. It's mix and match with those studs, guys. You want to play Anthony Davis and Jamal Murray, or LeBron James and Jamal Murray. Whatever way you want to go is fine. You can play Nikola Jokic and LeBron James and then try to save on these value plays. It's up to you how you want to play those studs. So now, let's get into some of these value plays. I like Michael Porter Jr. from the Denver Nuggets playing the LA Lakers. Michael Porter Jr. has averaged 18.2 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 16 minutes per game with a 23% usage rate. But take a look at his last 2 games. He scored 18 and 33 fantasy points, playing 19 and 28 minutes. He's projected at 20.9 fantasy points here tonight, so I like Michael Porter Jr. here versus the LA Lakers. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, Just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Another value play that I like is Danny Green from the LA Lakers. He's averaged 18.3 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 25 minutes per game with a 14% usage rate. He scored 30, 25, and 19 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 28, 23, and 25 minutes. He's projected at 18.3 fantasy points here tonight, so I like Danny Green here versus the Denver Nuggets. I also like Jeremiah Grant from the Denver Nuggets playing the LA Lakers. Jeremiah Grant has averaged 21.7 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 27 minutes per game with an 18% usage rate. Now, he's been underperforming here in the playoffs. He's only scored 15, 17, and 19 fantasy points in the last 3 games, but he's been playing 24, 37, and 30 minutes. He's projected at 21 fantasy points here tonight, so I like Jeremiah Grant here versus the LA Lakers. Okay, another couple value plays for you. I like Alex Caruso from the LA Lakers. He's averaged 14 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 18 minutes per game with a 14% usage rate. He scored 22, 16, and 18 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 28, 22, and 23 minutes. He's projected at 16.9 fantasy points here tonight, so I like Alex Caruso here versus the Denver Nuggets. And another value play for you, I like Contavious Caldwell-Pope from the LA Lakers. He's averaged 16.4 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 26 minutes per game with a 15% usage rate. But he scored 19, 27, and 15 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 31, 29, and 28 minutes. So I like those minutes. He's playing a bunch of minutes, and he's projected at 17.8 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Contavious Caldwell-Pope here versus the Denver Nuggets. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to DraftDashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.